Oh, we are live very quickly today. Hey, everybody, welcome to Hump Day Hangouts. This is episode 225, 200 and a quarter. Today is the 27th of February, 2019, and we have got some great announcements for you. But before we get into that, we're going to go down and say hi to everybody. So starting on the left, Chris, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Exciting day today, especially with all the good stuff going on in Semantic Mastery.
Definitely, definitely. Hernan, how about yourself? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited for today. Super excited for Funny Hacking Live last week. It was awesome. We have a lot of good stuff coming up for you guys. So stay tuned, and we have a lot of good stuff coming up for you guys today, actually. So it's gonna be awesome.
Woo! Oh, I didn't. Oh, I just have this T-shirt on. How random. All right. Well, anyways, moving right along. Marco, how you doing?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Nothing, just chilling. I was hoping for a weather report. It's kind of overcast and nasty here. How about you?
It's over sunny and sunny here.
Bradley, how you doing? What do you got? Snow, hurricanes? What's going on?
I don't know. I haven't been outside since about 6 o'clock this morning because I've been working all day, but it looks sunny. I don't know what the temperature is, though. Anyways, hi.
Well, I see you've got your nice shirt on, too. So
Yeah, we got the memo, apparently.
There we go. Well, man,
mine's waiting, though, because I wear mine more than you, apparently.
Yep. I might have just gotten one for the conference I was at, so shout out to Dan if you're watching. Good to see you, man. We bumped into Dan and his wife at Funnel Hacking Live. It's always good to see people. We met a few more people who knew us from Hump Day Hangouts. It was really cool to see. Hernan, I think you met up with a few people. I feel bad. I'm losing my mind while I'm talking. I can't remember anybody's name.
Yeah, for sure. Adam reached out to me, and he was a big fan of Semantic Mastery. He had a digital marketing agency, and he was like listening to Hump Day Hangouts pretty much every week. So yeah, it's good to see. Hey, you're from Semantic Mastery. I know you guys, and that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, I like to say this every time. If you're new to Semantic Mastery, first of all, thank you very much for watching Hump Day Hangouts. This place to get your questions answered. You can just put them on the page. If you're watching the replay, just go to semanticmastery.com/HD questions and ask your question there. And then you can always come back and we timestamp the video so you can watch later, whether you got client calls, you're working, whatever it is. And then the next thing we always tell you is, because people ask us, where should I start with Semantic Mastery? Well, you should start with the battle plan. And today, the battle plan 3.0, bigger, better, badder, expanded, has landed. And we have got all sorts of good stuff in there. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but I'll be putting the link on the page. Highly suggest you grab that. We got some kick-ass bonuses. I'm not going to read it to you. I want you to go check out this sales page. Personally, I like it because I made it. But secondly, we got just a laundry list of some cool stuff we put together for you guys. So please go and check that out. And if you've already done that and you're looking to take things up a few notches, if you're wanting to grow or you want to start your own local digital marketing agency, then we would love to have you join the mastermind. And you can find out more about that at mastermind.semanticmastery.com.
Oh, by the way, I want to welcome Robert Nelson. He just joined today. Robert, I reached out to you via email to schedule your onboarding call with me. And so welcome to the mastermind. And I hope that I get to chat with you next week sometime.
Outstanding. Looking over things real quick. Wanted to tell you too, I've skipped this while I was excited about talking to the new people, but if you're checking out the replay or you watch these on YouTube and you're checking this out at some time in the future, click the subscribe button, stay up to date with all the Hump Day Hangouts, all the video clips we put out, all the training, all the good stuff. It's a great way and free way to stay up to date. Let's get into it. I need to paste some stuff on the page. So Hernan, or you guys, can you tell them a little bit more about what's going on with the battle plan?
Yeah, for sure. So every year, so the battle plan is the battle plan was born because I think it was 2 years ago. And we have been putting out, Bradley specifically, he's a content machine, and we have been putting out a bunch of content, right? A lot of content pretty much every week, between Hump Day Hangouts, between the mastermind sessions and whatnot, the groups and whatnot. So a lot of people are reaching out and saying, hey guys, you guys are awesome, but we need, or we feel we need something that we could actually grab and take a look at and say, all right, so I am at this stage, right? I have a new website. What's step one? what would Semantic Mastery recommend? What would Bradley Benner do? You know, so basically we kind of developed that step-by-step framework so that we knew a lot of people that were coming that they would have like new websites, and bam, we develop a framework for them. H websites, we develop a framework for them. YouTube videos, we develop a framework. Local websites, we develop a framework. Now, and we have been adding up, taking out, you know, subtracting, adding, and updating to the latest and greatest stuff that we have been finding throughout these past 2 years. Now, in this edition, the 3.0, the SEO Confidential, we have added everything that goes into Google My Business, okay, which is something that we didn't have on previous versions. Now it's there. So if you're optimizing Google My Businesses for, you know, clients doing lead gen and whatnot, this is the type of stuff that you want to get. We are also added a bunch of additional bonuses, and not only that, when you're getting the battle plan, which is, you know, again, you know, kind of a field manual. You go through it, you know exactly what to do, where to order, what to do, you know, in what quantity, in what like power and whatnot. You also get access to a webinar that we recorded. That is basically the battle plan in a webinar format, right? So I think that when getting the battle plan, you're setting yourself up for success with your local digital marketing agency, and even if you're doing like info products, if you're doing affiliate, it also works as well, just because of the fact of how specific it is, right? If you want a million different things, that's not your thing. That's not what you want to get. But if you want a simplified way of applying the Semantic Mastery knowledge over the past 5 years, then that is the guy that you want to get, pretty much.
Can I just add that simple does not mean bad, right? We boiled it down. It's a step-by-step instruction so that anybody could come in and follow what we do, how we apply our own training. Because okay, Bradley does training, I do training, Hernan does his stuff, and then we have to have a way for people to know, okay, so if I were to approach this, how would I tackle this step by step? So that's what was done in the battle plan. Just because it's simplified doesn't mean that it doesn't work, that it's bad, that it's not worth it. We're hardly charging anything for it anyway. But it's just a way for you to go and take a look. Okay, so these are the things that I need to do. And if I follow this formula, does this guarantee me success? Well, fuck no. Nothing guarantees anything. The thing that we can tell you is that this is what we do. And the things that we apply to get our success online, right? These are the things that we have done. If you apply it, and if you follow everything in sequence, I mean, nothing's guaranteed in this world, especially not when you're dealing with the 800-pound gorilla in the room. But there's some absolute fantastic tactics in there that will help you overcome that 800-pound gorilla. I mean, we show you, you can go and do the Google tickle. If when all is said and done, and you're still having trouble, you can go in and you can still hammer Google and make the needle move. It's just how much work are you willing to put in towards your success? Because nothing in this world is free. And if you know what they say, I'm a Christian, so if you don't work, you don't eat. It's very plain. And so, guys, if you don't put in the work, how can you expect to be successful on the web? No magic pills, no magic formulas. Anybody telling you that you can make $100,000 overnight is blowing smoke up your ass. Stop listening. Put in the work.
Yeah, and he mentioned G-Tickle, and that sounds a lot dirtier than it really is. So just check out the battle plan. You'll see what we mean.
Yeah, and I wanted to say real quick, I wanted to do something fun for you guys. So if anyone is watching right now and hasn't picked up the battle plan yet, one, you should do it. And two, we'll give you a little push in the right direction here. Go to battleplan.semanticmastery.com, buy it, grab it during Hump Day Hangouts, and comment on the page. And we'll randomly select one person who does that, and we'll buy one of these nice fancy T-shirts for you and ship it to you for free.
Can we give someone a battle plan for the best question? I know we didn't plan this ahead, but why don't we do that?
Yeah, let's do that too.
Or if they bought it, we can refund it.
Yeah, well, we'll do a free one just because I don't want to screw up our stats. I'm not gonna lie, I like looking at the numbers. But yeah, best question, Marco will pick someone, and then if you go and buy the battle plan during leave a comment on the page, and we'll randomly select, and I'll hop online. We'll get one of these nice shirts printed out for you and send it to you.
Cool. Can we get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to tease the mastermind just briefly because we've been working on building out GMB assets and all that. And by the way, guys, if you're in any other groups, you'll probably are aware that there's a lot of shit going on right now with GMB because Google's trying to crack down on spammed maps listings, which we all knew was going to happen. I've been preaching that for months. That's part of the reason why I've been pushing for months on building a scalable process for building these out. And I kept hammering all of our mastermind members, especially with guys, be building right now. We'll monetize them later. Right now, build them, because I knew it was going to be a loophole that was going to get shut down or at least made more difficult. And it looks like that's what's going on right now. And so there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of changes. Google's cracking the whip. They're tightening the noose, so to speak. And so, I recommend staying out of the GMBs unless you have to go in them. Work on off-page stuff. That's really what my team's doing. My team has been completely prohibited from going in any new accounts or that anything that's been set up recently. And so I'm having them just go back through and fine-tune our off-page strategies until we figure out what's going on. And also, a lot of times, guys, it's just a matter of letting the dust settle. Like letting everything calm down and cool off before going back in. And so we don't have we have some ideas. We're not going to share them here yet, but we do have some ideas as to what not to do in order to prevent suspensions and that kind of stuff. But just know that, you have options and opportunities to work on existing assets that may need additional pushes. Like I've got a bunch of those. And so we're kind of working on the off-page stuff at the moment. And then once we nail down what, we've determined is the proper procedure for going forward, obviously, we're going to share that in our paid groups or the members that have bought, specific products and things like that. So just kind of want to give everybody a heads up that, don't panic, guys. I'm sure you've got plenty of stuff that you can work on while the process is calming down. Eventually it will. It always does. And we'll find other ways. That's just the nature of the game. It's a cat and mouse game. That's what SEO is, really, digital marketing. So with that said, also, I have recently released all my process docs and everything to the mastermind members because I had spent about 4 months really developing these processes and training a virtual assistant team to build out my assets and so that I could scale this and do exactly what I've been preaching, and that was to build. And I think we built, well, I'm not going to mention how many, but a lot. We built a lot of different assets. And so I think it was 2 weeks ago I released, or maybe a month ago now, or 3 weeks ago, something like that, all the process docs that I had developed with my team, as well as some of our live event attendees to the mastermind, which was invaluable. I got a lot of really good responses and comments from that because I didn't charge, we didn't charge anything extra for that, guys. Just as part of the mastermind, we always say mastermind has its privileges. Well, because I've got my team doing off-page stuff right now, and recently there's been some developments. For example, we did a webinar with Lisa Allen. You might want to get this link ready, Adam, anyways, for the rankfeedr webinar if anybody hasn't seen it yet. Lisa has this tool that's a co-citation RSS feed creator, or a super feed creator, as I like to call it. And it's called rankfeedr. And it's great for creating co-citation and adding geographic relevance, and just adding, especially for some of our processes that we've developed for the GMB asset building or the local lease pro model. It's something that you can set and forget. It's a bit time consuming to create these super feeds. And then also there's a way that you can embed them in specific pages. And there's a question specifically from our new mastermind member, Robert, that I'm going to answer in just a few minutes. But there's a process that I taught on how to create an embedded feed using FeedBurner in Syndication Academy update webinar, which was the last update webinar. It was I just held that a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. So if anybody's in Syndication Academy, excuse me, if you haven't seen that, go to the training area and go look at the update section and look at it's the only replays or archive so far for 2019. So it's in a specific section there, and the replays, in the replay or update section module, whatever you call it. And it's and in there, I talk about specifically how to do that. Well, you can combine the two methods. If you've got rankfeedr, then you can actually embed the feed, and it's really powerful. And so I've got my team, was working on producing the process doc for my team today so that I can get my VAs, because I'm just having them do off-page stuff at the moment. So they're going to go back through and go through all the assets that we've created and start embedding these feeds in very specific locations. And it's a bit of a process, but I'm just going to give you guys a quick preview of what my process docs look like. The mastermind members already know, but many of you probably don't. And, you know, that in itself, guys, I put a lot of work into this stuff. I've developed my processes over the years and how to create process docs and how I train my team. And it's a literal step-by-step process that they cannot make mistakes as long as they follow. I mean, they don't even need the training video. There's always a corresponding training video with all of my process docs, but they, you know, they could just follow. If they can read, you can take a VA virtual assistant that's cold right off the street, like essentially has no internet marketing skills whatsoever. But as long as they know how to read and navigate on a computer, then they can complete any process that I want them to complete. And that's essentially how, you know, we train our teams. And so I'm just going to grab the screen before we get into it anyways. And I'm going to show you guys this really quickly. Take a screenshot if you're smart. But this is it. Like, this is me explaining what it is to my team. And then I go through and I tell them what we're going to be doing. And then I just started on part 1. The training video will go here. There's process, step-by-step processes. Part 2 will be next. And then part 3 is how to create the feed burner feed and embed it. So again, I just wanted to do a real quick kind of tease on that, guys, because mastermind members, as soon as I get that process training completed, I'm going to add that to the process docs that I shared with you guys in the mastermind just a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. You'll be able to put it to use. All right. Also, we're going to get into questions, but I did want to mention this very quickly. Ben had a great question last week, who's also a mastermind member, about how to get over shiny object syndrome and how to focus and how not to get carried away or swept away by other products or methods that are attractive. As entrepreneurs, we often chase opportunity because, you know, we see opportunity everywhere. And as the saying goes, the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, right? So we get, a lot of times we get, you know, involved with or started on a project, usually a new method of some sort that we've been suckered into from an attractive marketing message. And you know, we start off with what's called uninformed optimism. And then as we dig into it a little bit, we realize the amount of work or the learning curve involved and all that kind of stuff. That's where we go into this next stage of what's called the emotional cycle of change. It's called informed pessimism. And anyways, I'm not going to go through all that because I put a video on here that I found to be very helpful. I review it often when I find myself in this emotional cycle of change. And so I posted this in the comments section, guys. Just bookmark it, go back and watch it if you are the type that suffer. And as most of you are probably entrepreneurs, and that's why you're watching this webinar, you've probably suffered from shiny object syndrome at some point, or you currently still are. And I'm a recovering shiny object syndrome, you know, I'm less like a recovering alcoholic. You know what I mean? And I was talking about how I've unsubscribed from all the marketing emails, message or lists and things like that, specifically because I really want to stay focused on doing what I know is going to progress my business. And I think this video may help you guys. So just check it out when you get a chance. Okay. So we're going to get right into questions. Look like Renee Wagner posted this question twice, and it looks like she posted it last week, probably after the webinar. So I'm going to start with her. She says, does ranking videos for local businesses in Google using YouTube and selling the leads to local businesses still work well in 2019? Yeah, it can. The thing about ranking local videos for leads is they don't convert typically as well as like having a maps listing would. They can, don't get me wrong, depending on the message and if it's a compelling video and that kind of stuff. Also, ranking videos, you can still do it, you know, but I also recommend that you learn how to use YouTube ads. Because YouTube ads, you can get significant, like really targeted traffic from the very specific areas. Like you can set your geographic targeting, and there's so many targeting options as far as audience targeting inside YouTube now, or the Google Ads platform for video, that you can get really good results without and as a byproduct of having a video that is targeted and getting targeted views from people that are within a specific geographic area that are known to Google to be in the market or interested in that particular product or service. Those are heavily weighted views. And as a byproduct of that, the video will often rank. So again, this has been a trick up my sleeve for years now, but it's gotten better and better recently. And that's using YouTube ads to actually rank the video. And so if you know video SEO, you still apply all of the SEO methods to the video as well as the channel. You can still do off-page SEO stuff, but the magic, the real magic is using YouTube ads to run local relevant traffic to it, because it's not just about the traffic either. You'll actually get engagement and clicks back, clicks to your offer or clicks to the landing page or leads for local businesses. You'll actually get real traffic and real leads from a properly set up YouTube ads campaign. And correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but isn't that training available as an order bump for the battle plan?
Not going to lie, I was looking at a spreadsheet and I missed the first part of that.
The YouTube ads training I did for local videos.
Yep. Yeah, you can get that if you buy the battle plan on checkout. It's the killer ads for local order bump. Yeah.
So I would recommend you look into that. It is still a strategy that works. For the longest time, for years now, guys, like five years now, I've been ranking videos or doing video SEO, selling a video, wholesale video SEO services to a local video production company that creates videos for local businesses. And they would always just create the videos and then, sell them the client, their customers. They would sell them the video, and the customers would put them on their website, maybe post them to Facebook, put them on their YouTube channel, but they never were getting leads from them or ranking them in Google. Well, for about 5 years now, I've provided wholesale SEO services to that company. So the company handles the sales, then they upsell my service to the client or the customer. And so they make money off of my SEO service every month. And that way I don't have to deal with the customers and all that kind of stuff. All I do is provide reporting. However, with just in the last 6 months or so, I've actually went back to them, after 4.5 years or so of just providing wholesale SEO services. And I said, look, I'm not going to provide the SEO service anymore. I'm going to provide local ads. Like, I'm going to set up ad campaigns for the videos, because I can guarantee traffic that way. I can't guarantee traffic or leads or clicks or anything from ranking in Google, and I can't guarantee rankings either. I've always done that. I've always said, look, if it doesn't rank, then I don't refund the money, but I won't. We can cancel service. There's always been cancel anytime. I don't ever put them on contract, and I've always been successful at ranking them anyways. But I can guarantee traffic and clicks through to the website or the landing page, whatever the destination or target URL is within the call to action of the video. I can guarantee that with ads. And then I tell them, look, you can still tell them your customers, as a byproduct of a well-optimized video and a well-optimized ads campaign, it's likely going to rank anyways. And so I still apply the SEO techniques to the videos, but I set up the ads campaign now. And what's also cool about that is the reporting is so much better. So I can provide the video production company with the reports that then they send off to their customers or their clients. But the reporting is so much more detailed. It's so much more accurate, because I can show where exactly the clicks are coming from. If you go into ads and you look and you go into the ad group and then you go into locations, you can pull locations reports, and you can do it by zip code or by city or by county and things like that. So I can literally show where the views are coming from specifically. So my targeting can be extremely tight, and I can show that, hey, this is only local people looking at the video. I can also show the audience targeting options. I can show the demographics. I can show incredible amount of detail as to where the traffic and clicks are coming from the ad campaign, which you couldn't do with regular YouTube analytics or with just a rank report, if that makes sense. So, and again, 95% of the time, the video is going to rank because of a proper YouTube targeting campaign, because of the traffic and the engagement is both geographically and topically. So it's a super powerful strategy, guys, and I covered it in a webinar that's available, like I said, as part of the order bump for the battle plan. All right, that's a great question, though. Alex is up.
So
go ahead.
If I may, ran a test just to see, because this is interesting. We ran a test over a 2 or 3 week period, and we ran embeds and link building tests to see what kind of action that would do. And interestingly enough, that still, it not only moves the needle, it has a great effect on videos, and and once they start hitting the first page and they move towards the top, you can start seeing the people start coming through to the channel and subscribing and liking and sharing and doing all of the things that a video needs in order for YouTube and Google to keep giving it love. So there's two things at play here, right? If you hit the top spots, you're going to get traffic if, and now here's a caveat, the video has to be engaging enough for people, for real people, to take action, to like it, to share it, or to give you that thumbs down in YouTube and comments and everything else. So there's two ways to do this. Both ways are still viable. Bradley's method, the ads training, I mean, that's hyper targeted people that are likely to convert into leads. Now, the other method, when you're doing the embeds and the link building, what you're going to get is you're going to get a more general viewership, and so you're going to need more in order to get the leads that you could generate through the video ads course. But both methods are still alive and well in 2019.
Yeah, and to be clear, guys, that's why I mentioned I still apply all the SEO methods whenever I like. So for example, I always live stream a video to a channel that's connected to a bunch of syndication networks. So that's the first step. Once the live stream is over, it literally cascades through all of the syndication networks that are attached to that channel. So it's automatically getting embeds, and my syndication networks are well themed and aged, right? Because I've been doing this for so long. So it gets a lot of super good SEO, traditional SEO power or juice or whatever you want to call it from that, right? Which are traditional signals that Marco's talking about, like embeds. And then even if you don't have like well-aged syndication networks or whatever, you can just use an embed service, right? And embed it. And so all of those are traditional SEO signals, and they still work. There's no doubt about that. But what I'm saying is combining those two methods, guys, that's where the magic happens. So still do all the SEO stuff. Optimize on page, which means optimize the video, optimize your channel, use playlists, guys, playlists. YouTube Silo Academy is how you guys, even if you only have one video in a playlist, create a playlist and put the video in it, because a playlist is also part of video SEO, right? So again, on-page stuff for the video, on-page stuff for your channel, use playlists, use embeds, use some backlinks. But if you're not getting the traction that you want, and like I said, for me, it's just standard operating procedure. I do all that first, and then I immediately go set up the YouTube ad for it and start driving real engagement, real traffic from Google to the video, and Google knows who that traffic is, what they're interested in, where they came from, and where they're located. And so it's super engaged or super targeted traffic, which is highly weighted traffic by Google. And that's the magic that really kind of helps all that SEO work. It just flourishes, right? It just works. Everything comes surfacing, and it's like almost it's almost guaranteed. Again, I don't guarantee rankings now. I tell them if it doesn't rank, they don't have to pay me, and we'll cancel it. But I do guarantee views and clicks, because I can't guarantee a certain number of clicks, but I can guarantee targeted views because I can buy those views directly from Google. You know what I mean? So again, use both methods, guys. I'm not saying do one or the other. Use both. All right. Alex is up. He says, "Hey guys, I'm ranking in the 3-pack and have a couple of 5-star reviews. The GMB Insight shows around 450 views per month, but the calls are around 5 to 8 per month. Is there a reason why it might be getting so few phone calls? Could you explain some common mistakes that lead to that? Thank you." Yeah, Alex, it could be many things. Like, first of all, what is your message? Do you have a compelling call to action, right? So what are your calls to action? What are the images? Where are you sending people, by the way? Like, for example, if your call to action is to click the button in the post and go to a landing page or wherever you're sending them, where are you sending them? If you're sending them to just the homepage of a website that's not set up for lead capture or conversions, then it could be that you're losing them there. It could be that, if you're just using the call buttons, then you could be losing traffic from desktop searches because people aren't clicking the call button from desktop search, and they're not going to, and some people won't go actually click through to the website or go do another search for it. I mean, there's a number of things that could be it. I would say that typically if you're getting a lot of exposure, but you're not getting a lot of calls or leads, then I would look at your calls to action, what your offer is, and where you're directing the traffic to, if it's a click through as opposed to just a call conversion goal, right? So again, and also in your posts, if you're doing posts regularly, which you should be, use some images that are relevant to the industry, because I know a lot of people that use stock images in their GMB posts, guys, and those are, people are almost blind to that, right? They almost are numb to a lot of stock images. So try to get original images from the client if possible. Also, just relevant images. I talk about how to do that from YouTube, and you can also local images, which is more for SEO purposes. We talk about that in some of our training. Can't talk about that here, but those are some of the things that I would recommend. Marco, what do you say?
I say that's just about right with 450 views. About it's between 2 and 10 calls a month. You have to get this is talking about locally and from our experience with Mario, who had more phone calls and other locals that I've been doing. It's not until you get the thousands of views that you start seeing movement, upwards of 20 calls, because the ultimate is calls or people going to your website or asking for directions. All of that are actions that could turn into leads depending on where they're going. It just means that you have to go and figure out, like I'm not going to get too deep into our training, but you have to know when to deliver the message, right? There's ways to know which days, what time, what message,
and
right?
how often.
Correct. Because in some niches, you might only need 2 or 3 posts a week. In others, you might need 2 or 3 posts a day. And in others, you might need just a whole lot more. It's just constant, right? Because there's people constantly looking for it. So there's a whole lot of things involved. Just a general overall opinion on what's happening. I would say from 450 views, you're just about right on the calls.
Yep. Yeah, that's increased the views per month, and it's a numbers game. If you're getting what looks like 1 to 2% of whatever your views are, it looks like that's what's actually converting in the leads based upon that number that you're showing there, right? 450 views per month, 5 to 8 calls, that's about 1 to 2%. So if that's the case, even if that were to hold true at that number, then if you increased your views, if you doubled that to where you're getting 900 per month at that conversion rate, then you should essentially get 10 to 16 calls per month. Does that make sense? Well, how do you get more views, more activity, better images, more compelling images, those kind of things. Video, start using video in your GMB posts, guys. If you haven't done that yet, go test it, because you'll see that a video post, just like it does on Facebook, will get a hell of a lot more exposure. Therefore, it will get a hell of a lot more views. Okay. So
I would also say to look at the posts and see which of the posts are getting the most action, and then try to figure out why. Explore why those are getting the action and the other ones aren't, and tailor your post to the ones that are getting the most action.
And test different calls to action and different messages. Like, again, it's just like split testing ads, guys. If you've ever done any pay-per-click search marketing, you got to split test copy, you split test your landing pages, all that kind of stuff. Again, you can fine tune for conversions, which is called conversion optimization, right? So that's something that you may also want to look into. All right, Alina's up. She says, Bradley, on the Local Lease Pro training, you talked about siloing posts. You said silo posts based on tags. Yeah, that's just because there's an auto post, like our GMB post scheduler or GMB Briefcase, depending on the level that you're at with your business, gives us the ability to schedule posts within the dashboard of it, which is great. It's great for my team. It just makes things a lot easier. And then the post siloing can be accomplished through tags. And that's just essentially, it just daisy chains posts together. It's a very simple process. It's not difficult at all. So let me carry on with the question. She says, silo post based on tag, assign post tag in the Autoposter, then select to silo post in the Autoposter, which means it takes the previous post URL and adds that link from the previous post to the new post. That's correct. Your GMB website turns posts into inner pages. That's correct. The first post you do manually, and then in the Autoposter, the second post links to the first, the third to the second, and so on. Can you please explain a little bit further what you meant? No, you're right on track. The difference is, look, when my team goes through to set up to optimize, do all the on-page stuff of a new asset, right? A new GMB location, then they typically will do, and this is just our standard operating procedure. They don't add or connect that location to the post scheduler first. That's something that gets done after the initial on-page work gets done. And part of the initial on-page process is just posting a post manually. I also recommend posting manually to it anyways, instead of automatically connecting a new location to an API and using an automated tool, which is what the post scheduler is. Because it's very similar, guys, to syndication. And I know, Elena, you're in Syndication Academy or have been, I know that for sure. And it's the same as the best practices that I've been preaching for years about syndication networks, is that you don't go out and build or purchase a brand new syndication network and then hook it up to IFTTT and start posting to it through an automated way, automatic or right off the bat. Because if you do, it's likely that some of your Web 2 accounts within the network will get terminated. And it's happened time and time again, guys. So that is specifically why I tell you, if you're going to build them yourselves, which I don't recommend, you're better off buying them already built from MGYB. But my point is, whenever you build them or buy them, I've always recommended that you post manually at least to the blog accounts, which are Blogger, Tumblr, and WordPress. Post manually to them and allow that post to sit for about 7 days or so before, and I call that seasoning the network, before hooking IFTTT up and starting to automate posts to it. Because if you automate right off the bat, then a lot of the times one of those or a couple of those blog accounts will get terminated. Tumblr's been real trigger happy in the past, and it goes in waves, guys, and WordPress too. WordPress will often get terminated if you try to automate posting to it too quickly. So that's my process for GMBs as well, right? We don't like to automate things right off the bat. I like to have my team go in and do all this stuff manually, and then within a week or so or a few days time, they'll go back and connect through the API, which is through, essentially that's done within the post scheduler dashboard, and then they'll start to automate the posts. So just so you're aware, if you're posting manually first, which is what I recommend, then you're not going to have a tag in that post. So when you start the scheduling posts out using the post scheduler or the Briefcase, depending on what level you're at, then that first post that you create will be the first post in the silo. You can manually go link from within that first scheduled post to the post that you created. That's why in the spreadsheet, the GMB assets sheet, which you guys have the template for that have joined Local Lease Pro, there's a column for the first GMB post URL. That way, my team, when they go to schedule the first post within the Briefcase, we use the Briefcase because we got a lot of locations, then they can just go copy and manually add that first post URL to that first scheduled post, and then that one will have the tag in it, right? And from that point forward, they can daisy chain them together. All right. So again, you're right on track, Alina. I think you just needed a little bit of clarification. All right. Ted's up next. Ted says, hey guys, heads up. My tree service GMB that's been around and generating leads since LLP launched was suspended this weekend when I updated my appointment URL with the Amazon S3 ad ID page. Also, I was using the same Ghost browser session since day one. I just wanted to give everyone a heads up. Yeah, that is one of the things that I would recommend. Well, first of all, like I said, I've told my team to stay out of them altogether right now while we let things settle. And there's a lot of testing going on through various people and other groups as well. And so once we have a better understanding of what it is that is triggering that, which there could be a number of things, and we've got to try to identify each one of them. Again, I would recommend just staying out of them. But one of the things that I would recommend not doing for those of you that still want to test with your own assets at the moment is do not add the ad ID page to the appointment URL. Just link, if you want, you can link to it via a anchor text link within the GMB website text. So it would be a contextual link. But I would recommend not pushing anything into the appointment URL at the moment, that section, other than an actual appointment app. Okay, that's just one of the things that I think is potentially causing problems. So I would recommend not adding that URL right now to the appointment section URL, only adding a valid appointment URL or scheduling app there at the moment. Okay, again, you can still link to it, guys. You can link to it from your GMB post. You can link to it from an anchor text link within your GMB website content. Okay, but I'm sorry for you, Ted, but that's, the nature of the game. The good thing is at least you got quite some longevity out of that anyways. You said it had been producing leads for you and all that, and you can do it again, right?
Yeah, I told my VAs not to change anything, to just keep doing what they were doing and not to start anything new, by the way.
Right.
we just kept going because I don't like changing. I don't like sending Google mixed signals. And interestingly enough, I had one suspended. Like I hadn't had one suspended yet. I was wondering what all the ruckus was about. And I finally had one suspended. And then when we started talking about it, when I went back and talked to the VA, she uploaded a video, which we had never done on that one account. And so veering from what we were doing just by a video was enough to get the account suspended.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's really interesting what's going on. If you do anything different than what you've been doing, you're setting yourself up to be hit. And they're just sniping anyone left and right. I mean, you're third on the match, right? And you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, by the way, that's something else. Like right now, we've been the first 12. We had our live event, and from that was really where I started developing the scaling processes so that we could build, and that was the goal for what we had our live event in October, and so we had a 12-week period or a 90-day sprint where our goal was to hit 50 assets built and optimized, and so that ended about 3 weeks ago, and the next 12 weeks was going to be all about monetizing assets, and so it just worked out for us that we had built all these, and now because of what's going on, the timing was just, it just happened that it's a good time for us to stay out of building new ones at the moment, work on off-page stuff to get the ones that we built that aren't performing well yet. We can work on all the off-page stuff now to get those to start performing better, ranking better, producing better. And I am developing the processes right now currently for, well, obviously, as I shared with you guys just moments ago, I'm still developing some of the off-page strategies and processes for my team. But at the same time, I'm developing the monetization, so the outreach, prospecting, and sales process for monetizing these assets. And that's my next 12-week goal, which, like I said, we're in about week 3 now of developing those processes out, which will be shared in the mastermind. I'm going to give everybody exactly what I've been doing and show real-world examples of how I'm on it, the stuff that I'm doing, what works, what doesn't work, all of that, like I always do in the mastermind. And so that's something that we just got started on this week. And the POFU live event attendees, I have a weekly accountability meeting with them, and we did that on Monday. And if anybody's here that's on the Hump Day Hangouts that was there on Monday or watched the replay, you can comment, if you don't mind, on the page and let people know, how that strategy is going, because it's a very powerful strategy using video email. We've got a training product called Video Lead Gen System that I'm going to be updating with all of this prospecting training and processes that I'm developing right now for outreach and prospecting and sales, essentially monetizing our assets specific to GMB stuff. I'm going to be adding all of that training and updating it in the Video Lead Gen System, and that's going to be something that we will launch probably at the end of this 12-week sprint, which is about 9 weeks from now. So again, guys, there's a lot of stuff going on. If you've got stuff that's already built but not monetized yet, now's a good time to work on pushing them to get them to produce better, and also working on developing your prospecting strategy to get them monetized, right? Let the dust settle on building new assets at the moment, and within a few weeks, guys, we'll have some new methods, So anyways, the next question from Dean Marco is going to be directed at you, because I don't have any idea about anything on Pinterest. I'll read it for you. Question on for Hump Day Hangout 225. Have any of you guys tried ranking in Pinterest? Their PPC system seems expensive compared to Google, but they are a good fit for my home and garden client. Thing is, with nearly 2,000 pins of furniture products with hashtag optimized descriptions, only a few seem to pop up in Pinterest search. Old pins that have been saved a few times or more, that hints to me that pins saved by people may be the biggest ranking factor in Pinterest. Can you shed some light? If that's the case, I wonder if some spam accounts can save pins and manipulate it somewhat.
All right. I'm sorry. I've spent about 2 years in Pinterest figuring out the algorithm and a whole bunch of different things and what makes it go. And I'm not willing to give that up for free.
Okay. Fair enough. So we're going to move on. Sorry, Dean. I'd help you if I could, but I don't know dick about Pinterest. I've never really done anything with Pinterest, so I can't help you anyways. Jay Turner says, some of my service area business clients' verified GMBs do not show up in Google MyMaps when searching for them in order to add their PIN to a Google MyMap. Why is that? Does adding a KML file? That's, again, it's probably because it's a GMB service area business. I don't know that for sure because I don't do a whole lot of MyMap stuff. Is that something we can comment on? I know that's kind of RYS
Yes, it is.
stuff.
If you hide the address, you cannot expect to find it.
Right.
Because all you're going to pull up is a service area. So there's no way to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you could use like the city center for that area. I mean, that's something that you could do, but I don't do a whole lot of MyMap stuff still. I just never really did. I know we have RYS Academy training that talks about that stuff, Jay. So if you're in there, that might be a good question for the RYS Facebook group. Okay. Will, let's see. This is similar to the one that Olana asked, but I'll read it real fast and we'll move on. But he says, when using the GMB Autoposter and writing a month's worth of posts, are you saying that we should manually post the first post in the sequence of these 30 posts, then use the GMB Autoposter software so that we can link to the first post and these subsequent posts in the Autoposter? Well, no. Again, it's not about always linking to that first post, guys. That's just, again, you post manually because it's a way to kind of season the asset without automating stuff right off the bat. Okay, that's it. That's all. And it's just part of the optimization process for my team. And it's not about always linking to that one post, guys. The siloing is more about theming. It's just like a website silo, guys. I think too many you guys are trying to overcomplicate stuff, and I'm not picking on you, Will. But if you understand website silo architecture, it's the exact same for YouTube silo architecture, which you can accomplish with playlists. It's the exact same with GMB post silos. Again, it's the same principle, guys. It's no different whatsoever. So if as long as you understand website silos and how to build those correctly and theme your silos correctly, you just repeat that same process in either YouTube or GMB. It's the same process, right? So again, that shouldn't be overcomplicated, guys. If you don't understand website silo architecture, go search our YouTube channel. I've got several videos on there that I've talked about. They're several years old, but the strategy has not changed a bit, right? It's one of those things that are timeless, that will continue to work. And you can also go search Bruce Clay. Just go search on Google, Bruce Clay website silos, and it'll be the first link at the very top of Google search results, and click on it. It's an old article. I think it's from 2009 or 10. Read it. It's still valid and relevant today. Okay. Next. Robert Nelson. He's our new mastermind member. Welcome, Robert. He says, hey, guys, excited. Just signed up for the mastermind around an hour ago. Looking forward to getting to know you guys better over the next few months. Yep. I hope you schedule a call with me through my Calendly link I sent to you, Robert, via email. So I hope to talk to you next week. He says, my question is, I'm wondering if you think it's a good idea to use RSS authorities. Oh, yeah. This is a great question, by the way, guys. This is a really good question. I'm going to answer it. I'm wondering if you think it's a good idea to use RSS Authority Sniper on PBNs if it's also been used to create feeds for the money site. Okay, so first of all, you're using rankfeedr to create the feeds. RSS Authority Sniper just finds feeds. Okay, so you're using rankfeedr to create the feeds, which my PBNs are linking to. He says, I'm a bit worried about a footprint if the domain they use for rankfeedr feeds has links to my money sites as well as my PBNs. Do you think that's an issue? All right, so what I would recommend is that you would create separate feeds to embed in your money sites. Okay, so if you're using PBNs, and I don't know if you're populating content, like in other words, are you feeding content to your PBNs through rankfeedr, which I don't recommend because that would look like crap. But you can embed the feed. Again, I just talked about that in Syndication Academy on how to do that, guys. And the mastermind, you guys all have access to that anyways. So, which means, Robert, you'll have access to that too. That was the most recent Syndication Academy update webinar. I talk about how to embed a feed, okay? And so using the rankfeedr feed to embed is it's great. It's fantastic. So what I would recommend is that you can use rankfeedr feeds on your PBN as an embedded feed, which will create co-citation, but do not include your money site links, either static or RSS feeds, as part of the rankfeedr feed that's on the money site, or excuse me, the PBNs, right? Just use that to add local and topical relevancy to the actual PBN, right? And then you can still use traditional links within the content to link back to your money sites, because the rankfeedr feeds that are embedded aren't going to be having any of your content sources in the feed itself, which would be kind of a footprint, because now you'd have an embedded feed that has links to your content sources, like your money content sources, as well as contextual links from your traditional PBN links back to the same destination, yeah, that would be a footprint I would worry about. Plus, I would also have, if you're going to be using rankfeedr to create co-citation feeds for your money site, those would be separate feeds. In other words, I'd have one set of feed, one rankfeedr feed that I would use as an embed on the PBN to just add geographic and topical relevancy to that PBN. Then I would have separate rankfeedr feed where you would include your money site RSS feed, your GMB RSS feed if you're doing it for local. You could also have your static items and all that so that you can create local and geographic co-citation relevance to your money site, but that would be separate and apart from what you're using on your money site, or excuse me, your PBN. Does that make sense? So just keep that in mind, guys. Remember, with the top level subscription package, it's like $47 a month, guys. It's ridiculous. And you get up to 1,100 feeds. So I would create 2 separate feeds in that case if you're doing that, just like I said. And Robert, we can talk about that a little bit more on our call if you want to go and do it a little bit deeper. Okay. Also, you can post, by the way, Robert, the Mastermind Facebook group. We go real deep into discussions about anything that you want. So if you want to post that in there, we can comment on a little bit further. Also on the Mastermind webinars, we dig into that stuff. So you see over the shoulder training type stuff. Marco and I get real deep into that stuff all the time. Like, we get into the weeds. So awesome. Glad to have you. Greg, thanks for being here, man, as always. Frankie says, hey guys, it's my first time back. What's up, Frankie? Since you moved off Google Plus, I would like to know if there is some type of Google My Business GMB updates going on. Yes, a lot. There was a lot of talk about this in other groups. Is it all BS or is GMB the same still? No, they're cracking down, which, you know, guys, we've been talking about. We knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. It doesn't mean that it's, you know, the end of the world. It just means let shit settle down. We'll figure out the next method, and we'll produce training around it when it's available, right? Once we figure it out. But glad to have you back, Frankie. Okay, Jordan says, welcome back to WordPress sites, you all you GMBers. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Yet, maybe. We'll see. Kidding.
No, there's still other ways that you can verify GMBs. All they're trying to do is kill one loophole, but there's quite a few others. I mean, the old stuff that we've always been preaching is still working. And so, no, I'm not planning on going back to WordPress sites anytime soon. If anything, I'll just go back to G sites. Well, I never left G sites, right? Drive stacks and G sites.
Yeah. Quintus House says, do we still get the bonus semantic webinar if we buy FeedBurner stuff today? Yeah, well, essentially all I was going to do was share some of my methods on how I'm using it, guys, and some of the results that I've gotten. And yeah, sure. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, by the way, because I almost forgot about it. So, and if you bought rankfeedr, guys, through us and you can prove it, then just reach out. What I'll do is, and by the way, Adam, if you're still on, can you do me a favor and make a note of this? Maybe in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that, I'll hold a kind of an update webinar for rankfeedr, and Mastermind will obviously be included. And maybe I'll probably include Syndication Academy members too on because it's precisely the method that I've shared in Syndication Academy, which is how to embed those feeds and create the feeds, and then what I'm doing and where I'm embedding them. And I'll even give you guys the process for, well, that's only Mastermind members will get the process doc, guys. That's just, it has to be that way. But I can share with you what I'm doing and the results that I'm getting specifically with those rankfeedr feeds and how to get really good results for local stuff. Okay, so yeah, I will do just an update webinar. It'll probably be a short webinar. Again, in the Mastermind, they're going to get the process docs for this stuff too, so that they can have their team do it as opposed to doing it on your own or developing the docs on your own. But yeah, that's a good idea. So I appreciate you reminding me about that. And absolutely, just reach out to us at support. We'll create a small list on for people that we've known, or just come join the Mastermind. You'll get it anyways. I think I'll also, like I said, invite. It might be part of the Syndication Academy update webinar is what I'll do. It's likely going to be that too, and we'll just include the rankfeedr buyers into that also. Okay, it's a good question though. Michael says, question about RSS Authority Sniper. What URL do I use from GMB Briefcase Autoposter to set up the sniper? Everyone I've tried got an error. Thanks. I don't know why that's the case, Michael. Have you posted you have to have a GMB post so the RSS feed won't register. It's just like a WordPress site, right? If you try to add an RSS feed to IFTTT that contains no items, it won't accept it. It will give you an error every time. So have you posted? If so, then what I recommend, by the way, inside the Autoposter, guys, there's an update RSS file button. So you go to settings, RSS feeds, right? And that lists all of your locations that are connected to the Autoposter or the Briefcase, depending on where you're at. Okay. And then it says there's a blue button off to the right column. It says copy URL or whatever. Well, that's your RSS feed. If you're having issues, just click that update RSS file button. It's at the top of that column. It's a yellow button. Click that. It'll take a few seconds to reload. And once it reloads, all of your feeds will be updated. And just check it then. And go check it in a Firefox browser. You're going to have to add, it's called the RSS Preview Firefox add-on. RSS Preview is one word. And go search, go open Firefox, go to Google and search RSS Preview Firefox add-on. It'll be the first link at the top of the search results. Click that, add it to your Firefox, enable it. And then that way you can start viewing HTML versions of an RSS feed in Firefox again. They disabled that a few months ago for whatever reason, the native RSS feed reader in Firefox. And so you have to add the add-on now. Okay. But then just go check it. And if you have any other issues, contact support. Shripad, which is a little support bubble, is in the bottom right corner inside the Briefcase or the post scheduler. He's really, really good at replying to support requests, guys. So just if you have any issues, contact him. But I promise you, if you've got posts in there and you click the update RSS file button, it should work fine. Okay. John says, hey guys, I purchased the battle plan. Awesome. And the plan it suggests using SEO Ultimate plugin, but the webinar Yoast seems to be the favorite. But in the webinar, Yoast seems to be the favorite. Maybe, are we still linking to one of the older versions of the webinar at that point? Maybe? Because if so, we should
maybe. Yeah, maybe we're gonna be clipping and updating that really shortly. We have redirects over there just to do that. So yep.
Yeah, SEO Ultimate is way better, guys. It doesn't have a bunch of bloated code. Jeffrey Smith knows his shit, guys. I'm telling you, it is hands down the best SEO plugin. And get the SEO Ultimate Plus. It's inexpensive and it gives you a ton of additional functionality. And the version 2 of SEO Ultimate Plus is coming out very soon. It's been in beta for the last couple months, but it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, just a short comment. Yoast is foot fungus. Get SEO Ultimate. Please do yourself a favor.
Greg Drebert says, top on-page GMB tip. I would say just complete the profile and, post regularly. That's the best on-page tip I can give you. Just fully complete the profile with well-optimized everything. Not spammy, just well-optimized, well-written stuff. All right, and post regularly. Best off-page tip? That's to be determined right now. Probably some of the stuff that we teach in Local Lease Pro and some of the stuff that I'm talking about with rankfeedr and, that kind of stuff, Greg. So, again, we'll talk about that in one of the closed groups.
I would say top on-page, silo, Greg. You're with Greg. I mean, that's hands down not with Greg, with Jeffrey, right? Hands down. And the top off-page, press releases. Stack them.
Yeah, although like press releases, guys, the press releases in and of themselves are not as effective as they used to be even 6 months ago, unless you're varying distribution networks consistently, or you stack, you publish regular press releases consistently and regularly.
That's why I mentioned stack the press releases.
Yeah, because what used to be able, I had super good results with the local PR program method, with just as little as 2 press releases. I was able to rank in the 3-pack, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, whenever we launched that training. And now I'm finding to get the same kind of a result, I have to publish, 6 or 8 press releases to get the same kind of a result, unless I'm varying the distribution networks and stacking to where I'm, using 3 or 4 different distribution networks, where still a lot of them share the same type of footprint. In other words, they share a lot of the same distribution sites. But if you get some more link diversity from other distribution networks, because they have different types of, they distribute to different sites, in other words, and get picked up by other sites. if you do that, if you have access to a lot of different press release distributions, then that can help. Or you have to stack consistently and regularly if you're using the same sort of network, and make sure that you're, and again, I'm not giving away too much here, but as I talked about in the mastermind last week with, because I think it was Mohammed's question about that, there's not a set formula for how to stack, guys. You just need to constantly be varying what you're linking to different tier 1 types of properties. And it's something that you need to do. And it just seems like it's taking more press releases to accomplish the same thing. And that's to be expected, guys. Anytime something works really well in SEO, it's only a matter of time before it starts to become less effective, right? So don't say that press releases aren't effective. I'm not saying that at all. It's just the strategy has evolved a bit, right?
And just to add just a quick thought, Greg, you have access to Dedia. Reach out to him, because if you link build to your press releases, he knows exactly what to do.
Yep.
And man, yeah, that'll set it on fire. Drop some. Now I'm giving away too much, right? Drop some traffic in there, Greg.
Yeah, Marco. The next question: when is link building going to be available on MGYB?
It's being added as we speak.
Okay. So there you go. Because Greg, you can contact Dedia directly, or you can wait until. It should be available any minute, because I thought it was going to be available last week. So that answers the next question, where he says, where can we get backlinks for videos? Guys, our best link builder, he's been working with me for 6 years now, I guess, and he's awesome. We're going to have that service available on MGYB, and it should be like at any moment. Okay, so check back often. Guys, I got to run in a minute, so I'll try to get through these next ones very quickly. Grant, what's up, Grant? He was one of the POFU Live attendees. He's been working very closely with the group, and it's awesome to have you here. He says, auto posting the lead gen GMB is safe currently. Yeah, it is, as far as I know. I haven't had any issues with that whatsoever. I have not had a single property terminated or suspended from that. Now, I can't swear that that's the case for everybody. I'm just telling you, I have not had any issues whatsoever. It's making on-page changes that's been causing problems. And it's depending on what kind of change it is too, because I've actually been manually going in and changing on a lot of different stuff. Just several, like I mentioned earlier, guys, one thing I would not recommend doing is trying to add anything to the appointment URL section other than an actual bona fide, genuine appointment app right now. That's one thing that I see as triggering suspensions. Okay, and I don't know that for sure, but that's a hunch of mine, and I've heard that happen now from several different people. We lost 6 or 7 assets just last week, but it's the first 6 or 7 out of like more than 10 times that we've built. So, and again, I think a lot of it has to do with that one particular process. So my team's not touching anything at the moment. I'm in there testing with different things right now. Something else is that and this is kind of. Using a manager account, I've talked about not doing that in the past, but I think using a manager account actually helps right now. So what I've been doing is I've been going in and adding a manager account to an asset and making some slight changes and then removing the manager. And it's still, I've not had anything suspended like right before my eyes anyways. If that makes sense.
All right.
Google, let's see, Greg says Google's starting to ask for GMD location validation with tax. Yeah, I thought that's one of the things I had predicted I thought would happen. Greg, I've said that before, that was my speculation on what was going to happen, is that they were going to start requiring either corporate docs or proof of mail being faxed, or photos taken with company letterhead, or, like bank statements with, that kind of, all of that. That's stuff that I've had to do in the past to have verified GMBs moved to different locations. And that's what I assumed and I had speculated would probably happen. So the plan you outlined in our POFU group to monetize your GMB locations is brilliant. It's simpler, easier, and is the best method I've seen from all your optimization methods I've seen over the years that will be high converting. That's awesome, Greg. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of training over that in the next few weeks on that. Last call to win the free Semantic Mastery t-shirt. Okay, Bradley, is there a new press release program coming down the road soon? Yes, there is. And can't really announce that just yet, but I've been testing something that's really kind of disruptive. And I wouldn't say that lightly, but it's really, really cool technology that one of our very own mastermind members has been developing. He's one of the co-developers behind it. And I've been on several calls with him, and it's actually very disruptive what they're doing, something that no other service out there has, that I think would be a great addition to what we're already doing. So again, that's something that we'll be announcing here in the coming weeks. All right, guys, pick the best question and all that so we can wrap it up.
Alex, one of the very first questions was excellent.
Where was that? Right there.
It's yeah.
Yep, Alex. Okay, so Alex is the winner for what? Either the battle plan or what? A T-shirt.
Let
battle
Alex.
plan.
Yeah, we said battle plan, I think.
Okay, and somebody else was getting a T-shirt, weren't they?
Yeah. So did a random number generator and saw who bought and who posted back. Ted, you are the winner. So just send in to support from your normal email. I think we've actually had some back and forth between me and you. So just shoot an email into support. We'll get you that large shirt. And next time I'm in Sacramento, I'm going to find you for a beer, man.
Don't lie. The reason why he won is because of the beer emoji. So guys, I hope you all were paying attention. The next time you want to win something, just put a beer emoji in there.
Yeah, be within an hour's drive of me and offer free beer. No, Ted, use the random number generator. It worked out, man. So we'll get you your shirt. Just send in to support@semanticmastery.com.
Awesome. I hope everybody got a lot out of this. No mastermind webinar tomorrow, but we got one next week. I'm working on, which I'll be sharing with you guys what the POFU members and I have started developing this week, which is the outreach program using video email specific to the GMB asset stuff. We're going to be going through that. So you guys pay attention. Oh, and I'll share the rankfeedr process doc with you guys in the mastermind too. So see you all next week. Thanks guys for hanging out.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.